Well, hey, what's up, kids? Man, it is me, Big Steve, and we are so excited because we are here at a park at Lake Bulow in Louisiana. We're gonna have so much fun. Do you guys wanna have fun with me? All right, come on. Well, come on. Ooh, picnic table. Picnic tables are cool. This one is made out of concrete. It looks super heavy, but you said, we want food. I'm just kidding. But that kind of reminds me of this story, man. Because when you come to a picnic, you need plates, and you need cups, and you need silverware to eat. So you need all of that stuff more than just food. So there was this king. He ruled over so much land, and he ruled over so much land because he would take over places. The Bible called that conquering. And what conquering means is he would literally bring his army in and force the entire town to become his. So this king did that, only the land that he went into was God's people's land. But if that wasn't bad enough, the king then sent all of his troops into God's temple, like God's home, and started taking all of God's cups and plates. That's crazy. Can you imagine stealing from God? I can't, but come on. Ooh, do you want to go play on that? Yeah, come on. That was so much fun, man. So the story didn't actually stop there. The king had taken over all the land and brought all the stuff back. And he eventually said sorry to God, which is cool, I guess. But then his son took over, and his son became new king. And this guy wasn't as nice as the last king. And there was this one time where the son, who was now king, he threw a big party and had all of his friends over, and they were eating and they were drinking. And then he decided it would be a really good idea to go and get all of God's plates and his cups and his silverware that his dad had stolen, and they were going to use those to eat and drink. And they were kind of making fun of God in that, and saying that their God was better than this other Jewish God because they had all of that God's plates and everything. So God didn't like that, and God got kind of mad. So God sent his hand, just his hand down, and started writing all over the walls, and everybody at the party started freaking out, and they didn't know what was going on. But none of them could read because God was writing in his language and no one could read it. That would be pretty crazy. What would you think if you're hanging out in your room and all of a sudden a giant hand comes down and starts writing all everywhere? I would probably freak out like they did too. It's a slide! Come on! This park is so great. I feel so high. Look how high this is. I could see everything from up here. Woo, I'm doing it again. Well, the story didn't stop there either. So they had all this writing all over the wall and they didn't know what it meant. So the king's wife says, hey, we got this guy Daniel, and that writing looks like from his hometown. And his hometown was exactly where the king's dad had conquered all and stole all of God's stuff. So they go and they get Daniel and they bring Daniel before and say, Daniel, what does the writing mean? So he starts telling the king. And he said, well, king, you made God angry because you were making fun of him and you were mocking him. And you have never once said sorry for doing everything that you did to him. And because of that, your legacy, your reign, you being a king, is going to be cut short. And God is going to put a new king in your place unless you say sorry. So the king said to Daniel, thank you for telling me all this. Be gone. And that would be pretty cool, like, because this king really wanted to learn and he wanted to keep learning and he wanted to figure out what that writing meant. But the downfall is when Daniel was teaching him, the king refused to actually learn from the lessons and grow. And God actually took him out of reign, put a different king in the very next day. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes we want to grow and we should grow and we need to keep growing. We need to keep learning. But when people teach us stuff, we need to listen. We need to pay attention so that we could grow and keep making God happy. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for coming out. Bye-bye.